U.S. Reed took that shot. But everybody in Arkansas, all the Arkansas fans and faithful that watched it, they all made that shot. We know what it felt like to make that shot.
A very good evening from Atlanta in WNBA basketball this Friday night from State Farm Arena. The first of 3 meetings this year between an Eastern Conference finalist and the defending WNBA champions as the Atlanta Dream play host to the Seattle Storm. However, went along with Amy Audibert, Andy DiMaggio, our pleasure to bring you tonight's coverage from Atlanta. And Amy, the Dream showed their veteran poise on opening night. They rallied from a 9-point fourth quarter deficit to defeat Dallas. Head coach Nikki Collin got the results she wanted, but she still sees plenty of room for growth.
Yeah, big defensive stops to win the game. You're always happy with that. But the Atlanta Dream, they were not happy with their pace of play, and especially the ball energy on offense. So look for the Atlanta Dream to get them down the court against Seattle tonight. Meanwhile,
the question that looms over the Seattle franchise, who will step up in the absence of Sue Bird and Breanna Stewart? Well, through 2 games, we can certainly tell you Natasha Howard looks the part.
Yeah, the WNBA reigning most improved player has continued to improve. Her numbers are great, averaging almost just under 20 points and 11 rebounds per game. She is a monster everywhere, all over the court, a big threat. So how do you combat that if you're Atlanta? How about some energy from your leader? And that is what we saw in the warm-up right there. Renee Montgomery obviously can hit a 3-point shot. 3 for 4 against that game against Dallas. But it's the energy, it's the hustle, and it's the leadership that the Dream are going to need from their senior leaders to be effective tonight.
As we introduce your starters for tonight's matchup at State Farm Arena, Seattle, which fell the other night in Minnesota 72-61. The second-year pro Jordan Canada takes over the point guard duties in the absence of Bird. She's joined by the former #1 overall pick Jewel Lloyd, Mosqueda Lewis, Howard, and the veteran Crystal Langhorne round out the Storm's 5 for Atlanta. No change with Montgomery and Tiffany Hayes, who really struggled on opening night. Hayes, just 5 points. She's joined by Sykes. And a front court that consists of Elizabeth Williams and Jessica Breland, whose 17 points led the Dream in that win over Dallas.
And you mentioned Tiffany Hayes' struggle offensively, but I'll tell you, she had some big stops defensively at the end of the game. And when you have a player that you can always depend on to come up with big stops, you give yourself a chance to win some basketball games.
And a little more perhaps on the shoulders of Tiffany Hayes in the absence of Angel McConter, who you see in your screen there. Still working her way back from an injury that she suffered late last season. Nikki Collin, the reigning WNBA Coach of the Year. Her team went 2-1 against Seattle a season ago. And with that win on opening night versus Dallas, now 10-0 in the regular season in games decided by 5 points or less. And for Seattle, we know about what they've had to persevere through. And you see Gary Kloppenberg, the acting head coach for Dan Hughes, who, of course, led the Storm to the WNBA title last year. Dan Hughes still a few weeks away from returning to full-time coaching. Had surgery earlier this month to remove a tumor from his digestive tract, and we, along with the rest of the WNBA, continue to send our well wishes to Coach Hughes. Look forward to seeing him back on the Seattle bench very soon.
Yeah, both staffs were first years last year, both 11-point win differences. So 2 programs heading in the right direction, that's for sure.
Williams and Howard sent to jump center. And we're glad you're along this Friday night for WNBA basketball in Atlanta. Dream control the tap, and we are underway. And here is Hayes, trying to get started early, but had her pocket picked. Well, Mosqueda Lewis had her foot on the baseline. It'll stay with the Dream after she struggled in Game 1. Really no surprise that they would try to tee up Tiffany Hayes on the opening possession.
Yeah, and another great way to generate some extra possessions, right? Just create some turnovers on the other side.
Hayes just 5 points against Dallas, which tied what would have been her season low from last year. Williams, no good, over Howard. Seattle team that was second in the league last year in scoring. They led the league in field goal percentage, led in three-point percentage, but so much of their offense consisted of Breanna Stewart, the WNBA MVP, and the steadiness at point from Sue Bird. Here is Howard. over Williams, can't roll it in. And Breland claps in the rebound for the Dream. The stop and pop, Renee Montgomery down the well.
Yeah, a little too wide open if you're Seattle. I mean, she came off that screen and no recovery. She has to take that shot.
37% from long range a year ago, and the pull-up jumper by Lloyd pushed the Storm on the board. Jewel Lloyd, another player whose offense can really take a jump without Stewart and Bird. Williams fills the lane. Drops it off to Hayes. The shot clock at 9. She pulls up. And Howard the rebound. Natasha Howard, who on opening night versus Phoenix had 21 points, a career-high 16 rebounds. Canada no good in transition. Breland the rebound. And that surpassed her previous career-high in boards, which she set last year with 15 versus the Dream. Here's Sykes, no good.
Hey, you know what? Minnesota limited her to 5 rebounds just 2 nights ago and were very successful. So, I mean, Atlanta, that's a huge assignment for Elizabeth Williams. Just boxing out Howard.
Here's Langhorne with the offensive rebound. And it rolls free to Montgomery. Drops it off to Breland. From behind the line, no good. Sykes back taps, but on the run to the Storm, and here's Jewel Lloyd. Very interesting to see that the tempo of this game and whether Seattle tries to slow things down or whether Atlanta can get into its running game.
Well, and that's a nice stop for Atlanta. Lloyd going to the basket in transition. They forced her to pull it out.
Mosqueda Lewis gives the Storm the lead. And take a look at Kalina Mosqueda Lewis, the fifth-year pro from UConn.
And that's not the scout on her drive to the basket. She is a spot-up shooter, and she is deadly from outside. So when Atlanta watches film, they're probably not going to be too happy about that look.
And when you set the NCAA record for career three-pointers, sometimes when you have a floater in the lane, it qualifies as breaking news. On the screen and roll, Williams can't finish. Howard, coast to coast, blocked by Sykes. An Atlanta team which led the league in blocks a season ago and had 11 versus Dallas, but the ball off the hands of Hayes. A turnover gives it back to the Storm.
This Atlanta Dream team, what we're learning early on this season, they really pumped themselves up with blocks. They had a possession in that Dallas. They had 4 blocks. Elizabeth Williams with 3, and then Breland came up, and you see Sykes getting up there too, and they really get the crowd and themselves going that way.
As far as guards go, Brittany Sykes, one of the better shot blockers in the league. As Howard got stripped, it stays with the Storm. Tiffany Hayes, second-team WNBA All-Defensive a season ago, for a Dream team that led the league in defensive points per possession. And Nikki Collin assigns Tip Hayes on Jewel Lloyd early. Runs her into his screen, steps back. No good, rebound Breland. Has to flex down to Breland. Backs down Langhorne. Couple of heads going at it in the post, and Breland lost the ball. Initially ruled Seattle possession. It'll stay with the Dream.
And off the defensive rebound, you can hear the bench from Atlanta over here yelling, go, go, go. They want to play. They want to touch the paint too, Andy. Just watch how much the blue jerseys really tried to get into the paint on offense.
Montgomery off a screen. Trying to connect at her second 3. That's off the mark. Oh, how about that look-away pass, Howard, off the dish from Canada. Oh, the Raptors winning Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Certainly it's a good time to be from Canada. The assist by Jordan Canada stretches the Storm lead to 3. Montgomery for 3. Well, the Dream won last weekend, but the three-point ball was not a big part of their game, just 4 of 14.
Yeah, Nikki Collin again offensively just said they had some players that just didn't quite look like they looked like they were playing their first WNBA game, and so got to continue to get reps and game speed reps and get on the same page offensively. But they're getting some nice looks early on.
And now the Dream 1 of 10 from the floor and 1 of 6 from 3. Seattle now much better, 3 of 11. And both teams ride out the early nerves in our first quarter. Mosqueda-Lewis. That's a long two for Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis.
Yeah, you just see the footwork coming off that screen, though. If you're a basketball junkie, I mean, you love it. It's beautiful.
Mosqueda-Lewis already equals her point total from the other night in Minnesota as Brittany Sykes, the third-year pro from Syracuse, drops it in. Canada with the ball fake. Slithers in, dumps it down. Langhorn grabs her own miss, but blocked by Williams. Elizabeth Williams is a beast underneath. And Breland strolls into the jumper short.
Seattle, they're really letting Jessica Breland look to hit some open shots. She hasn't put them down yet. She's got to continue to keep looking for those. Sometimes it's more important to take the shot than actually make the shot. So right now she, cannot get discouraged by these misses because they're wide open, and really that's a great spot for her. The elbow aerial high post. She's got a really nice jumper.
And Breland, 17 points to lead the way for the Dream on opening night. 0 for 5 so far. Might have had a clock issue here. As play blown dead. With the Storm on top 8-5. Take a look at the reigning WNBA Coach of the Year, Nikki Collin. Collected that honor in her first year on the Atlanta bench after guiding the Dream to their first Eastern Conference Finals since 2013.
They were 5 points away from getting Seattle in the final.
Don't remind her.
Look at this game. What's really interesting about the Dream, though? When they play the reigning champs, if they beat them in that year, it's always on the first game. So if they have 3 games against Seattle, they certainly want to beat them at least once. It's got to be tonight, according to their history.
Well, they won 2 of their 3 meetings against the Storm last year, and even the game they lost, they were once trailing by 29 points late in the first half. They cut that margin down to 6. And speaking with Nikki Collin last week, she said that loss actually infused a lot of belief in her team, and they went off and ripped off a franchise record 8-game win streak after that loss to the Storm. But it's been a bit of a stormy start, as you can tell from the field for both teams. The Dream just 2 of 12.
Yeah, I like to talk these up as defensive battles, right? Not really. And some of the shots have been pretty wide open. You can't say they've all been contested, but Seattle also, like you said, obviously missing some key players, still trying to find that groove offensively.
Howard not that time. Williams pulls down the rebound for the Dream. Sykes in transition. Tries to lay it off to Breland, poked away. Now it's the Storm's turn to run. Canada. Over to Langhorn. The rip through on Breland, and she draws the foul on Breland. It's been an aggressive Storm team here in the opening 5+ minutes, and it takes us a timeout. Glad you're along this Friday night. WNBA champion Seattle Storm and the Eastern Conference finalist Atlanta Dream. 8-5 Storm early from State Farm Arena.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Greg.
Listen, it's becoming a little bit of a problem that you aren't using your real arms. Everybody knows you're using the fake arms so that you can keep playing Toon Blast.
What are you talking about? If you'll excuse me, my burrito's getting cold.
Yeah, no, eat.
Oh, so hungry.
All right.
Go, 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 go,
Okay.
go, go, go. Leave it.
I have 1 kid in each branch of the military, but I'm Command Central.
Why Elaine chose Verizon.
It's so important to us that Verizon is supporting military families. When I have a child deployed, having a reliable network means everything. So when I get a video chat and I get to see their face, it's the best thing in the world. And I've earned every one of these gray hairs. Military moms, we serve too.
The network more people rely on gives you more, like military plans with a special price on unlimited. $100 per line, And big savings on our best phones when you switch. That's Verizon.
A salute to one of Dad's most important jobs, fatherhood. This Father's Day, give Dad the gift of steel. Right now, save $20 on the MS-170 chainsaw. And grass trimmers start at just $129.95 at SteelDealers.com.
It's time to make way for what's next. Make way for our league in a new home. Chicago, Washington. Wednesday at 7 on CBS Sports Network.
So we welcome you back to Atlanta. Seattle trying to become the first team since Los Angeles in 2002 to repeat as WNBA champions. So defending your title is difficult enough in the WNBA, Amy, but it's even more arduous for the Storm without Breanna Stewart, the reigning league MVP, without the longtime veteran Sue Bird. And talking with acting head coach Gary Kloppenberg before the game, he says this team is still trying to figure out their identity 2 games into the season, but it's been a strong start on the road for them as the free throw makes it a 9-5 Storm lead.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone paid attention to that season opener against Phoenix, this Seattle team became, I think they opened a lot of people's eyes because Jordan Canada's fun. Howard playing the way she is. They're competing. Phoenix is also a great team. So there's definitely some parity in the league this year, and it's going to be a fun one.
Sykes good from the corner for 3. Brittany Sykes makes it a 1-point game. Lloyd really struggled the other night, just 5 of 21 against the Lynx. Ball popped high in the air. Howard collects. Gets her own miss, and on the tip-in, she's fouled. That is an illustration of just how active Natasha Howard has been this early season, and she'll head to the line off the foul.
Yeah, when she gets that deep into the paint and she misses the first shot, you cannot let her get a second one.
Foul is on Jessica Breland, and that's her second. Now, we were joking before the game, is it possible to win Most Improved Player 2 years in a row? Because the start that Natasha Howard has had to this season, it's going to dwarf her numbers from last year when she won Most Improved Player.
And it's been about opportunity for her and just continuing to step up and then being consistent when you're given the chance. She got a lot more playing time last year, and this year she's going to get a lot more ball touches probably. I mean, she's fun to watch, obviously, to anyone except the team that's playing her that night.
4 points and 4 first-quarter rebounds for Howard. And a foul on the floor against the Storm. Call Lloyd for that, her first. Monique Billings is subbed in for the first time for the Dream, replacing Breland. So she's reunited on the floor with her former teammate at UCLA, Jordan Canada. Sykes with a quick pull from 3.
And not only teammates, you mentioned Billings and Canada, successful teammates. 3 Sweet 16 appearances, including an Elite 8 their senior year. So they've got some chemistry. Talking to Monique Billings earlier today, she said, if I'm out there and I block Canada, it's going to count as 1.5 on the box score because there's nothing like blocking your old teammate. But really, they're good friends, they're classmates. Apparently, some good Snapchat interactions in college.
Oh, what would be a friendship these days without a good Snapchat interaction? After the Dream turnover, Hayes comes out for the Dream. Alex Bentley, the 7th-year pro, subs in. Another choppy offensive start for Atlanta, 3 of 14, and also 3 turnovers. Alicia Clark shovels. Russell blocked from behind by Williams. Elizabeth Williams scaling the 6'6" Mercedes Russell for her second block of the quarter. Billings, the spin, blocked by Howard. Bentley resets with a shot clock at 8. And another 3, doesn't find the touch. Be surprised that of the 16 shot attempts of the Dream so far, 9 of them have been from behind the 3-point arc. Here's the layup good by Canada, makes it a 5-point Storm lead.
they've been given some three-point opportunities, right? Seattle's kind of giving them those shots, so they've got to start hitting them to open up the floor a little bit.
Howard strips Billings. The catch inside. Lloyd has her pass batted out. It stays with the Storm. A minute 42 to play in the first quarter. Natasha Howard, the sixth-year pro from Florida State. And she was underutilized her previous 2 years in Minnesota. Then again, she was backing up some all WNBA players for the Lynx. But she has come into her own in her second year in Seattle. Canada strokes it. A long two from Canada. Up to a 7-point Storm lead. Bentley around the horn, but no good on the three. Sluggish start for the Dream, and you wonder if that 7-day layoff might have affected their sharpness. Russell, the fade over Williams. Coffey glides in for the Dream rebound. One of Atlanta's offseason acquisitions. Billings, tough catch in transition, and she flips it in.
Defensive rebounds or stops for Atlanta, they go the other way. And so obviously taking care of the rock is important as an offensive rebound against Alicia Clark. But stops, they go the other way against Atlanta, and Seattle knows that. So that's just perfect pass. Nice hands from the second-year player in Monique Billings. But for Seattle, I mean, taking care of the ball important, but hand in hand with that is shot selection, because quick shots that don't go in, they go right back the other way against the Dream.
That often is the kickstart for a fast break. That pass to the screen and roll was kicked. It stays with the Dream.
Mercedes Russell, you got to look at her, and that's another player that gets a bit more playing time with Breanna Stewart out of the mix right now.
A second-year pro from Tennessee. Out ball hawk and Bentley. Williams twirls on Russell. Dream 4 of 19 from the field, 21% this opening quarter. A 6-second differential, shot clock to game clock. Canada spreads it out for the Storm. And her learning curve has steepened now after the surgery on Sue Bird's knee. Out indefinitely. Gives it up to Clark. Clark drains the three as the shot clock expires. Alicia Clark making her season debut for the Storm, the 8th-year pro. A contested three as time expires, off the mark by Montgomery. And our first quarter comes to an end with the visiting Storm up by 8. They did not suffer back-to-back losses in the regular season last year after falling on Wednesday night in Minnesota, hoping not to repeat that. A strong start defensively. Brittany Sykes with the three, but it's the Dream down by 8 through a quarter in Atlanta.
My experience with USA Air has been excellent. They really appreciate the military family, and it really shows.
With all that USAA offers, why go with anybody else? We know their rates are good. We know that they're always going to take care of us.
It was an instant savings, and I should have changed a long time ago.
It was funny because when we would call another insurance company, they would say, oh, we can't be USAA.
We're the Weber family.
We're the Tennies.
We're the Hells, and we're USAA members for life.
Get your USAA auto insurance quote today.
Just push.
With 6 grams of energy-giving protein, there's nothing you and almonds can't do.
Good morning.
More treatment.
We're going to try something different today.
Oh, so pretty.
Dogs bring out the good in us. Pedigree brings out the good in them.
Do you use catheters? Are you using the catheter that's really best for you?
Oh, yeah.
For years, I'd been using one kind of catheter, and I never knew that there were other really great catheters available until Liberator sent me samples to try. If I had not tried the samples from Liberator, I might never have found the perfect catheter for me. Liberator Medical sent me a catheter that was easier for me to use right out of the package. Now that I've found the best catheter for me, it's made my life much easier. My catheters were completely paid for, not a dime out of my pocket.
There are so many innovative catheters. Get the best catheter for you. Call Liberator Medical. Get your free catheter sample pack.
Call 1-800-625-3335. That's 1-800-625-3335.
Here, the crowd is so loud you can't hear them anymore. A cowboy's safety is provided by a few good men. His fistful of rope is the only bond between man and beast. Those 8 seconds go by mighty quick in the house of PBR.
Storm lead the Dream 18-10 through a quarter in Atlanta. Join the Dream at State Farm Arena next Thursday when Atlanta hosts the Las Vegas Aces at 7 o'clock. Get your tickets by calling 877-977-7729 or visit atlantadream.net. Dream just 4 of 20, Amy, from the floor in that first quarter. What would you diagnose? Why does the offense look so sluggish?
Well, I'm going to keep the glass half full right now. 4 made field goals, 3 assists. So they are moving the ball around well, but the number that I don't like right now, 0 free throws attempted. This Atlanta team wants to attack the paint. They want to get to the rim. They're not doing it.
They attempted 14 three-pointers total in their opener versus Dallas. They had 11 three-point tries in that first quarter. Off the glass, Mercedes Russell makes it a double-digit lead for the Storm. Montgomery swerves behind the Billings pick. Monique Billings into the lane, off balance, and up for 2.
It's just a nice two-man game between two very high-energy players in Renee Montgomery and Monique Billings. So that's a nice look for Atlanta. Monique
Billings had 1 field goal in the Dream's opener, but it was the one that gave the Dream the lead for good in the fourth quarter. Coffee blanketing Canada. Shot clock at 4. Here's the veteran Shavante Zealous. Gulich has her on the switch with a foot on the line. The jumper doesn't fall, and the rebound grabbed by Billings.
And that's the type of defense that Atlanta likes to play. They want to grind out possessions and force some last-second shots on the shot clock.
And last year, they held the top shooting team by percentage in the WNBA to their lowest field goal percentage in a game all season in their win in Seattle. Gulich is off the mark. Storm rebound up by 8. Canada sizes up Montgomery. And the entry draws a foul. Gulich playing at the back hip of Langhorne. Marie Gulich, the second-year pro from Oregon State. Acquired from Phoenix in a trade on draft night. Her first, team's first.
And her job is going to be off the bench to provide a lot of energy. But look at the duck in from Langhorne. And so Gulich has got to play the foot game with her. She's always either got to snap her foot around or sit down and get ready for a face-up.
Langhorne off the cut and the dish from Russell. Oh, when one big throws a dime to another big, Amy. Speaking as a former big, that is poetry in motion.
Two-mans. The little ladies, you can step up on that three-point line. Let us handle the work down low.
Little poetry in the post. Again, a 10-point Storm lead. Coffee on the drive. Had it stuffed.
And that time you see Atlanta, though, trying to attack the rim and get something going in close range.
Russell grinds away on Gulich, and this time Gulich, the one who gets a piece. That shot-blocking team in the WNBA last year, the Atlanta Dream. Ball was tipped out of bounds. It stays with Atlanta. And already 6 blocks by the Dream. And what's interesting is that all 5 players on the floor are capable of getting a rejection.
Yeah, I mean, they're so athletic. They've got great length, and teams know that. So when they attack the rim against Atlanta, you've really got to look to draw some contact and not give them space.
A deep pull by Bentley off the back rim. Saved by Coffey. Gets it to Billings. Great hustle by Coffey. And it's a fresh possession for the Dream. Hayes eyes the clock. A jab step. And a 3-second violation on the Dream.
Yeah, Monique Billings kind of sitting weak side, trying to read her guard and move off, looking for a Hayes penetration, but you're seeing just, again, not on the same page offensively because Gulich was driving through the lane. Tiffany Hayes wanted to drive, and Monique kind of hanging out backside.
Already a 6th Dream turnover. Zealous working on Hayes. Zealous draws contact and a foul. Crafty move by the veteran Shavonte Zealous. It's the first foul on Hayes. Crowd thinks otherwise, but it'll be free throws for Shavonte Zealous.
Yeah, Tiffany Hayes thought she did a great job of going up straight. The officials say, no, you were leaning over just a little bit. So you look at the body position. It's a physical game. I mean, it's just such a slight degree angle. I see what the official's saying with the bend. But I think in Atlanta's frustration, Nia Coffey attacking the rim on the other end kind of wants the same call.
Zealous signed as a free agent the day after the draft. Spent her last 3 seasons with the Liberty. And a 1-of-2 trim for her. We're a Storm team that still has WNBA title aspirations in spite of the losses of Stewart and Bird. It helps to have somebody like Shavonte Zealous who has made the WNBA playoffs every season she's had as a pro.
Yeah, the bar doesn't go any lower, and you have to appreciate that. And the Seattle team, they're going to be fun to watch as this season progresses.
And Zealous on the blow-by baseline makes it a 13-point Storm lead. Impressive start on the road for the champs. And the Dream really struggling to find a rhythm in the half court. Billings in on Russell with the left hand, scored in the foul.
Well, that's a great look for Atlanta. Billings probably has that first step foot speed on Mercedes Russell and looks to attack. It's a one-on-one face-up from the high post. If you're Atlanta, you just kind of look for the basics first. Rip and go right there. Monique Billings and one.
A team high 6 for Billings as we've hit timeout.
This would be awkward if you were sharing these nachos with anyone but yourself. Nachos are now a meal with your choice of double the seasoned beef or slow-cooked shredded chicken plus a medium drink. The $5 Grande Nachos Box, only at Taco Bell.
My body is truly powerful.
I have the power to lower my blood sugar and A1C.
Because I can still make my own insulin. And Trulicity activates my body to release it, like it's supposed to. Trulicity is for people with type 2 diabetes. It's not insulin. I take it once a week. It starts acting in my body from the first dose.
Trulicity isn't for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it, you or your family have medullary thyroid cancer, or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, or severe stomach pain. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases low blood sugar risk. Side effects include nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, belly pain, and decreased appetite, which lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems.
I have it within me to lower my A1C.
Ask your doctor about Trulicity.
It's all clear.
Everybody say ho! Yeehaw! Go Woody! Ho!
Yeah!
How excited would they be if they had the hybrid?
Probably this excited.
Disney Pixar's Toy Story 4.
Pieces or cups? Pieces or cups? Pieces or cups? Pieces in cups! Man, we're killing it over here, huh? Not sorry. Reese's.
Today's Best Western. What does that mean?
With rewards points that never expire, you get free nights fast. Now get a $20 Best Western gift card after your first stay. Book now at bestwestern.com.
The X-Men's final battle.
I've seen evil.
And I'm looking at it now. We'll be their greatest.
You have no idea.
X-Men, Dark Phoenix, rated PG-13. Tickets on sale now.
An 11-point lead for the Seattle Storm over the Atlanta Dream. 5:56 to play in the second quarter. Atlanta's Jessica Breland has been shelled with 2 early fouls, but Monique Billings, the second-year pro from UCLA, has stepped up.
And you know, she played in 32 games last season, her rookie season. But what was great for her and for the Atlanta Dream was that they drafted her in but didn't have to put too high of an expectation on her. She got into the league. She got to kind of find out where she could be successful, what she needs to work on. So I think this could be a great year now that she has that experience under her belt.
And holding this Atlanta offensive flow, Dream still trail by 10. Screen and roll, the pocket pass to Russell. And it was Clark who threaded the needle that time. We have seen some dimes distributed by the Storm.
Well, and that was, with Sue Bird not here, they have to force somebody else to be a facilitator. That's so encouraging for Seattle to see them still be able to make those reads offensively and find layups at the rim.
Meanwhile, an offensive foul on Tiffany Hayes. She got her right foot tangled on the landing there, and that's a second foul on Hayes. Still scoreless at the 5:22 mark of our second quarter.
That's just a nice defensive rotation from Zealous, getting there, getting established and planted.
Sue Bird had her arthroscopic surgery on her left knee just yesterday, correct?
Yep, in Connecticut, and she will be with Seattle from what we hear soon. So well wishes to her. It's great for the women's game when Sue Bird is playing it, I'll tell you that.
Foul on Clark's drive. And Sue Bird will at some point begin her 17th year in the WNBA. And boy, she's shown no signs of slowing down. Had 7 assists per game a year ago. As you see that hip check. And they call that foul, believe it or not, on Hayes. And that is Tiffany Hayes' third. So here is Alicia Clark making her season debut. Missed the first 2 games with rest after finishing up her professional season in France, where she won a league title.
Extremely aggressive offensively, but defensively is maybe where she impacts this team the most. So Seattle very happy to have Alicia Clark back.
A great disruptive defender who can guard multiple positions. Ball initially given to the Dream, and now overruled. It stays with the Storm.
And you look at Tiffany Hayes, and it's tough for the Dream. Again, not playing with Angel McCautry right now, and their second leading scorer. They're going to have to grind out the rest of this half probably without her as well. So it starts at this end for Atlanta on defense as always, but we've got to convert on the other end too now.
Dream still shooting 23%. The pull-up spins out by Clark. Rebound to the Dream and Breland. And Breland back on after a long layoff with 2 fouls, and the layup good by Sykes. There's more of that attacking to the rim than Nikki Collin wants to see.
Yeah, Atlanta has a reputation for being so athletic. They've got to utilize that first step line drives.
Howard flings it up, gets it to fall, and the foul.
I don't know. That was the most acrobatic shot I've seen in a long time, and Breland doesn't think that she fouled at all, but Natasha Howard throws that up with one hand, that hook shot. Probably got Breland kind of on that hip, with a hand on the hip or on her left hand, and it's a big finish for Howard.
Howard also puts a third foul on Breland. So 2 of the Dream starters at the 4:28 mark of our second quarter with 3 personals, and the and one makes it a 14-point Storm lead. That gives Howard 7 points, 6 rebounds. I think you could trace Howard's breakthrough. Obviously, she won Most Improved Player in the league last year, but these types of numbers she's putting up, as you see the bucket by Gulich, it really started last year in the WNBA Finals in that deciding third game, a career-high 29 points. So even without their 2 stalwart scorers, you saw enough from Natasha Howard in the postseason last year to suggest she could carry a heavy payload offensively. And a defensive 3-second violation whistled on the Dream. I believe that was Gulic, the guilty party.
Man, getting the shot clock down to 8 on that possession. Certainly a tough break. It's a tough break for Atlanta because, I mean, they're digging their way out of a decently deep hole against a very good Seattle team right now. So you give them points and the ball back, and now a 14-second reset on the shot clock.
Lloyd's technical free throw, a 10th foul shot by the Storm this half. Dream only have attempted 1. Oh, we got a wedgie. Now that 3-point drive by the Storm.
A stop's a stop. And they'll jump it up.
Yeah, it was Jordan Canada with a bit of a sheepish grin. So Williams and Howard to jump center. And Howard wins the tap. Inside of 4 in the second quarter. Storm lead by 13. And Sykes calling for the foul, trying to deny the cut from Clark. And that pushed the Dream over the limit on Sykes' first. So free throws for Alicia Clark.
Because Atlanta wants to play quickly and they want to get stops and they want to run. This game doesn't have, the flow of this game is not in their favor right now. There are a lot of stoppage in play, fouls, jump balls, and it's really been hard for Atlanta to find any kind of offensive rhythm.
Clark makes them both. And give credit to the Storm for disrupting Atlanta on both ends of the floor.
Certainly.
Gulic from the mid-range, bricks it. Comes out long to Lloyd. As Howard filled in the lane. The give and go back to Lloyd for a 3. And it is all Storm right now in Atlanta, and that prompts an Atlanta timeout.
Way too much time and room for Jewell Lloyd. You said earlier, Jewell Lloyd looked like she struggled in the first couple games, but she also gets the best defensive player on her. See what happens when you give her room.
Jewell Lloyd has 6. The Storm lead by 18 in Atlanta.
I have one kid in each branch of the military, but I'm Command Central.
Why Elaine chose Verizon.
It's so important to us that Verizon is supporting military families. When I have a child deployed, having a reliable network means everything. So when I get a video chat and I get to see their face, it's the best thing in the world. And I've earned every one of these gray hairs. Military moms, we serve too.
The network more people rely on gives you more, like military plans with a special price on unlimited, $100 per line, and big savings on our best phones when you switch. That's Verizon.
Hey, Ryan. Listen, I know you love Toon Blast, but I really need you for this next scene. I can't use this guy.
That is a terrible thing to say, Greg. Sergey does all my on-camera work. I don't see what the problem is.
I don't see what the problem is.
Jeez. Sounds just like me.
I was talking to Ryan.
Which Ryan? I'm so sorry, Sergey.
Just push. Push.
With 6 grams of energy-giving protein, there's nothing you and almonds can't do.
Today's Best Western? What does that mean?
With rewards points that never expire, you get free nights fast. Now get a $20 Best Western gift card after your first stay. Book now at bestwestern.com.
A salute to one of Dad's most important jobs, fatherhood. This Father's Day, give Dad the gift of steel. Right now, save $30 on the FSA 56 trimmer when you buy the BGA 56 battery blower set. Visit SteelDealers.com.
Ah, the playoffs. When we cuddle up with a hot cup of tea. What? This isn't a rom-com. Get to B-Dubs, where the only cozying is with a beer and wings, and the only heartbreak is a Game 7 loss. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
I've scored some pretty good deals on Poshmark, like the Bread Air Jordan 1. This is my favorite sneaker of all time. So I was able to find a pair really easily without spending a crazy amount of money.
Get $5 off your first order. Download the free Poshmark app now and use offer code LOVEPOSH.
Storm have opened up an 18-point lead over the Dream with 3:17 to play in the second quarter. Great to see some young ballers with us at State Farm Arena tonight. Let's take a look at the upcoming WNBA national television schedule. Later tonight in Phoenix, Liz Cambage expected to make her debut for the Las Vegas Aces. You can catch that game on ESPN2. And then Wednesday on CBS Sports Network, Chicago and Washington. Team that vanquished the Dream in 5 games in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Big hole for the Dream to dig out of, but a nice jumper by Coffey gets him started.
Yeah, and it's not overcomplicated. It's just the right read, and it's a nice one-dribble pull-up from Coffey. That's what Atlanta needs to do. They're not going to get this one back in 1 or 2 possessions. Chip away a little at a time.
Leah Coffey knows a thing or two about scoring against Seattle. A career high was set versus the Storm last season when she was playing for Las Vegas. Elizabeth Williams is back on the floor. Nearly thrown away. It's tracked down by Coffey. Bentley lines up the 3. And it clangs off. And Clark got an elbow on Sykes, whistled, and a foul on the Storm.
Now, Alex Bentley is a player that I think everybody in this facility is just waiting for her to go off because she was 2 for 11 against Dallas, and she's just a high-energy, volume shooter type player. So she's still going to get her reps up. Her team wants her to take those shots. When she starts hitting and catching fire, it's going to get a little bit more fun around here.
That was the second on Clark. She comes out. Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis re-enters. Bentley, who has the WNBA record for consecutive made three-pointers with 10. So when she gets hot, better avert your eyes if you're the opponent. Right now, the Dream have not found the touch from range. 2 of 14 from 3. Lloyd dribbles that off her foot, a turnover.
Yeah, you know, Atlanta, they look a little bit more funner right now when they're attacking, right? We saw Nia Coffey with that pull-up. You got to stop. Got to get back, and now they've attempted 2 more threes. I'd like to see them try to get in the lane a little bit more.
Sykes fights her way into the lane. Misses the leaner. Back tapped out to Lloyd. Lloyd looks for numbers. And Howard was held up by Bentley on that roll to the rim. So that foul on Bentley, her first. It sends Howard to the foul line. Natasha Howard.
You got to give credit to the Seattle team because they play 8 games now in a 23-day stretch, traveling over 10,000 miles. They are starting their season off essentially on the road. 2 home games of their first 9.
Well, nobody said defending a WNBA title would be easy.
It's like a tour. It's like a victory tour or something off the opening tip. But hey, if you can walk away playing some good basketball with having to start on the road, with trying to fill some leadership voids, again, you're going to be feeling really good about yourself. And Dan Hughes, when he gets back in there full with the team, he's going to be pretty proud of the resiliency they've shown.
Lead back up to 18. And the rebound tipped out last by Howard. Stays with the Dream. Elizabeth Williams with the task of marshaling Natasha Howard's athleticism, but we've seen how much of a headache that can be.
The goal for Elizabeth Williams tonight is not to get 10 offense or 10 rebounds herself on either end. It's not to let Howard rebound the ball.
Montgomery tried to draw contact and a foul. Instead, Storm possession and a whistle off the ball. And another foul against the Dream. I believe they call that on Montgomery.
Yeah, that's a tough call. That's off ball in transition for a bump.
And Montgomery's first. Free throws for Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis.
Which basically you're giving 2 points to Mosqueda Lewis. She's a shooter, so she's on the line, hitting free throws.
And 91% at the foul line a season ago. And the lead swells to 20 for the Storm. A Storm team that found itself down big early to the Lynx the other night. And layup good by Sykes.
Attack the rim and then uses her body to clear space.
Gary Kloppenberg calls timeout with 1:06 to go in the quarter. Brittany Sykes now the high scorer for the Dream with 9. But noticeable by her absence in the scoring column is Tiffany Hayes. You're looking at it, that tank to the rim. Even in slow motion, you can see the athleticism of Brittany Sykes.
Yeah, she gets inside, beats the yellow jersey, and then squares her shoulders and hips up to the rim. And it's interesting listening to Brittany Sykes, even herself. This is a third-year player in the WNBA, but first year to second year is a different staff. And now in her third year, finally a consistent coach. So as much as you'd think she'd have a bit more experience, she's had a coaching change. So those first 2 seasons were so inconsistent. This is really her first season where she's a bit more comfortable in her role and her expectations.
And her role and her minutes will continue to rise with the absence of Angel McCautry, the All-Star. Have a group of 10 or more save some money while enjoying a Dream game this summer. Call 877-977-7729 or visit atlantadream.net to learn more. Still an 18-point Storm lead.
The mentality right now, I mean, 1:06 left before halftime. You really want to lock Seattle up if that's the goal. Don't let them score. Listen, you're not going to beat them. You're not going to score and tie it up in 1:06. But you can stop them. And that's kind of what Atlanta really predicates himself on, is being able to grind out stops. So gut check time right now for the Dream.
And they grind out a 10-point deficit on opening night versus Dallas. An 18-point margin they have to overcome here, but you can't overcome it when you turn it over on an outlet. Howard across the lane for 2.
And those are the ones that are so frustrating. You get the stop and then you just turn it over, burn a little more time, and still give up the 2 inside.
11 points for Natasha Howard. Sykes pulls up, banks it in, and a foul. And a burst of emotion from the third-year pro Brittany Sykes. She's got 11.
Yeah, right now, you almost give it to Sykes, clear out. She's got that attack mentality right now. She's getting to the rim that time, pulled up through the contact. You got to go with what's working for you, and right now it's Brittany Sykes.
Rattles home the and 1. 43-26 Storm. Howard to the rim, blocked by Williams. Oh, but a late whistle and a foul. Well, keep it on the Storm's end. Williams thought she'd caught that clean. You can tell Ronnie Montgomery thought likewise.
And Nikki Collin also frustrated. The whistle was so late.
But the problem is you can't give Natasha Howard such a clear path to the basket.
Yeah, and I thought it was a nice recovery. I didn't see a whole lot of contact.
That was Williams' first. 8th of the quarter against the Dream, and that has allowed the Storm, Amy, to outscore Atlanta 15-2 at the free throw line.
It's a big difference in this game when you look at the score.
Williams takes the lob. Jostled out of her hands by Canada, but a foul on Canada. That puts Seattle over the limit on Canada's first foul.
This 1:06 has taken a long time. Again, it's not favorable to Atlanta's pace that they want to play, that the game's just taking long. They can't get in that flow again.
Williams, a 56% foul shooter a season ago. Had a career high in blocks against Seattle back in the 2016 season. Didn't get the block the last time down floor versus Howard. Now, somebody who has quietly emerged as one of the better shot blockers in the league, 4th in the WNBA in blocks per game a season ago. splits the free throw trip, an 18-point Storm advantage, and with the shot clock off, Gary Kloppenberg wants to diagram a winning play. Now the heart of a champion being shown here in this opening half by the Storm, as they have held the Dream to 29% shooting, and Natasha Howard again leading the way with 13 points and 7 rebounds. She has just been a revelation these opening 2.5 games.
Yeah, almost another double-double at half. How about that? But again, when you're given that opportunity, you step up or you don't. And if you're Seattle, the organization, the fans, you are so excited to see what Natasha Howard is doing early on in this season.
13 points, 7 boards, as you mentioned, a perfect 7 of 7 at the free throw line. Dream led by Sykes' 12. Do you sense, though, that this is still a Dream team? And yes, they navigated the rest of the regular season and the postseason last year without Angel McCautry. But not having her potentially for the entirety of the season, do you sense that this team, to begin the year, is still trying to find its footing without the offense of Angel McCautry?
You know, they've really prepared like they're not going to get her back because that's what they have to do, but it's certainly a different mentality where you look at Breanna Stewart, they know she's not coming back this year. It's not even an issue of maybe, sort of. So mentally, I think it's a little bit tougher because for a situation like the Dream where you're not sure.
Lloyd blitzed on the double team. Throws underneath Mosqueda Lewis in traffic, no good. And Sykes holds on to it as time expires in the first half. 45-27. The WNBA champion Seattle Storm on the road, where they had the best road record in the league last year. An 18-point edge over the Dream, led by 13.7 rebounds from Natasha Howard coming up at halftime. Amy talks with the Dream's Renee Montgomery. Stick around for that as our coverage continues from Atlanta.
Today's Best Western. What does that mean?
With rewards points that never expire, you get free nights fast. Now get a $20 Best Western gift card after your first day. Book now at bestwestern.com.
Just push. Push.
With 6 grams of energy-giving protein, there's nothing you and almonds can't do.
My experience with USAA has been excellent. They really appreciate the military family, and it really shows.
With all that USAA offers, why go with anybody else? We know their rates are good. We know that they're always going to take care of us.
It was an instant savings, and I should have changed a long time ago.
It was funny because when we would call another insurance company, they would say, oh, we can't be USAA.
We're the Weber family.
We're the Tennys.
We're the Hells, and we're USAA members for life.
Get your USAA auto insurance quote today. Attention Medicare beneficiaries. Are you getting the benefits you deserve? Many Medicare recipients are not aware of all the benefits available to them, which may include vision, dental, prescriptions, and more. Some plans have no copays or no deductibles. Some even have $0 monthly premiums. These benefits may be available to you right now. Call now to find out what you are eligible for. The MedicareAdvantage.com hotline is taking calls right now. The call is free and there's no obligation. Take the first step to protect your health. Call now to get the additional benefits you deserve. Many of these plans include coverage for dental, vision, and prescriptions. Plus, some may have no copays or no deductibles. Call MedicareAdvantage.com. You may not have to wait for the Medicare annual enrollment period. You may be able to get additional coverage now. The sooner you call, the sooner you can get the benefits you deserve.
Call 800-305-0275. That's 800-305-0275. Call now.
Welcome to Quantico. The accused stabbed his commanding officer in front of 6 eyewitnesses.
I want some more time to investigate. Go pack. We're headed to a war zone.
We're lawyers, and we have to find out what happened.
I'm just waiting to hear something you can argue in court.
You accused a Marine of conspiracy. Be ready for what comes next.
Justice is whatever happens when the panel reads their verdict.
The Code, CBS Mondays.
We welcome you back to State Farm Arena. We're through one half. The defending WNBA champion Seattle Storm have put the clamps on the Atlanta Dream 45-27. Renee Montgomery beginning her 11th season, one of the veteran point guards in this league and someone who epitomizes energy on the court and off. Earlier tonight, our own Amy Audibert caught up with the Dream point guard, Renee Montgomery.
Congratulations, 1-0 to start the season. That's always the goal, but there we go. But let's go back to training camp for a second. You know, last year, Nikki Collin, her first year, and so everybody's a rookie. But now this year, you know your coach, you know her system. How did that affect the way you guys approach the season?
We didn't have to start from like square one. We basically got a chance to start from where we were last year and build on that. So we kind of had to jump on it this year.
11 years now in the WNBA. Listen, you had the opportunity, hey, it's just a number. You've had an opportunity to be around a lot of different collection of women. What is it about these 12 women, a characteristic of them that makes you believe, hey, we can do this and win a championship?
I think we have a lot of personalities on the team, strong personalities, playful personalities. So we play off of each other, and I think we really, really like each other. And that, it sounds simple, but that's not always the case. Everybody at home doesn't like their coworkers. So for us to everybody like each other and we get along so well, it really shows on the court.
And we all loved 78 threes last year. You come in, yeah, you set a franchise record, 78. Yeah. Listen, 78 threes in your first year here, you signed as a free agent, you set the bar pretty high. So as a prolific long-range three-point shooter, how do you train in the off-season, and what's the goal this year?
Oh, man, we've been working on giant killers this year, so a little bit of a float game, but I'm still going to hopefully, I want to still bring the threes, just add a little bit of giant killers. That's Blue's term. Coach Mike, I don't know his last name because I call him Blue, but that's
Peterson.
Term. Peterson. Oh, gosh. Okay.
Listen, we appreciate your time, and we are so excited for the rest of the season.
Undefeated. Woo!
There you go.
Renee Montgomery, she is a perpetual motion machine, one of 8 returning players on a Dream team that won 23-11 a year ago. She has 3 points, but her Dream trail by 18. Stick around. We'll have more halftime coverage from State Farm Arena after this.
What's your dream? To win championships? A scholarship? To win more trophies than Serena Williams? Do you dream of ending gender inequality? Or will you show that champions in your sport can also look like you? Maybe your dream is to be the first 13-year-old to go pro. Or to push a sport to accept everyone just as they are. But the craziest dream of all is the one that starts a million more.
Oh, sir, that was my grandma's. Ugh.
Don't worry, ma'am. All of your stuff is in okay hands.
Just okay?
Well, they don't give 2.5 stars to just anybody.
Here you go.
What's this?
It's your piano.
Hold this for a sec.
We don't have a piano.
But the neighbors do.
Just okay is not okay, especially when it comes to your network. AT&T is America's best wireless network according to America's biggest test. Now with 5G Evolution, the first step to 5G. More for your thing. That's our thing.
Thanks for the ride along, Captain. I've never been in one of these before, even though Geico is... Oh, here we go. Here we go.
You got cut off there. What were you saying? Oh, no. Maybe the Geico's been proudly serving the military for over 75 years? Is that what you wanted to say? Mm-hmm. I have to say, you seem a lot chattier on TV.
Geico, proudly serving the military for over 75 years.
You okay back there, buddy?
Designed for exhilarating performance. Designed for your every move. This is the 7-passenger Acura MDX. Designed for where you drive.
Visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
If only there was a place nearby you could get one of these. Or these. Good thing they're sold literally everywhere business is done. I'm pretty sure you could buy them at a bank. Not sorry, Reese's.
Today's Best Western? What does that mean?
With rewards points that never expire, you get free nights fast. Now get a $20 Best Western gift card after your first stay. Book now at bestwestern.com.
Halftime at State Farm Arena, Storm 45, Dream 27. Andy Demetra, Amy Audibert, there we are. Welcome back to our coverage from State Farm Arena tonight. And it's been the visiting team, the Storm, that have been the aggressors so far through one half.
Yeah, 12 more points from the free throw line, but I'm not looking at the makes. They've attempted 14 more, so they've just done a great job attacking, getting to the rim, drawing fouls. And Atlanta, well, the percentages don't lie. They're shooting 14% from long range right now, under 30% from the floor. Not a good combination if you're the Dream.
Well, it'll take a second straight home comeback for the Dream if they want to overcome the Storm. Storm led by 13 points from Natasha Howard, 7 rebounds as well, and the Storm have held the Dream to a hair under 30% shooting, 2 of 14 from 3. This Dream team, remember, was 10th out of 12 WNBA teams in three-point shooting a year ago. And at the free throw line, a glaring discrepancy. The Storm 15 of 18, the Dream just 3 for 4. And turnovers as well. That also thwarted the Dream and prevented them from building any momentum offensively.
Yeah, those were the big glaring ones. But look at the blocks, right? I mean, they're protecting the rim as well as Seattle's getting there. The shooting percentages is a big problem right now for Atlanta, hence the 18-point lead, because you look at the rebounds, only a 3 rebound difference. I mean, some of the margins aren't bad at all, so how it's an 18-point game? I mean, Seattle obviously utilizing free throws, but also Atlanta just not connecting from range right now.
And Gary Kloppenberg has to be ecstatic over that rebounding margin. His team +3 in the first half. In that loss to Minnesota on Wednesday, they were out-rebounded -18. One of several reasons the Storm lead by 18. We'll check out the halftime highlights after this.
Ah, the playoffs. When we cuddle up with a hot cup of tea. What? This isn't a rom-com. Get to B-Dubs, where the only cozying is with a beer and wings, and the only heartbreak is a Game 7 loss. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
It's about time they gave left and right Twix their own packs. They got about as much in common as you a mortician and me an undertaker.
Or you a janitor and me a custodian.
Or you a ghost and me a spirit.
Left and right Twix packs. It's time to decide.
Do you remember that day? That day you met your hero?
Miss Bird, do you think I could be a champion like you?
Of course you can. And you can call me Sue.
Jibber jabber, coming through! Salutations, famous female of orange round ball.
Would you like an autograph?
Excuse me! It's you.
Jibber jabber ruins everything.
Is it?
At Symetra Life Insurance Company, we're cutting through it to help you choose the retirement benefits and life products that work best for you.
We tried 2 different real estate agents who both promised great results, but after almost a year on the market, we still hadn't sold our house. Then we found HomeLight, which promised to get us in touch with the top agents in our area. We went with the agent they recommended, and it worked. HomeLight's agent sold our house when the others couldn't.
HomeLight compares data on millions of agents, so you know you're getting the best agent for your needs.
Oh yeah, we recommend HomeLight.
Get started for free today at homelight.com.
And then from this angle, it all makes a star.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore.
Show up
And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible.
And then we're going to turn the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
Finally won. What's your reaction here? Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods
Okay, what else?
common.
This is their world.
There's nothing.
I think then they die. Go ahead, go, go, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
Set to start the second half from Atlanta, but before that, we take a look at the first half highlights. And the Storm offensively, Amy, made a concerted effort to get inside the lane.
Yeah, they're leading the paint points 18-14. Jordan Canada, 0 turnovers. I mean, I'm so impressed with her, who had 6 in the first half, her first game in the season opener. So she's calmed down. But again, just really moving the ball around the rim, and even through traffic, you see the connection there through 2 Dream players. They've been pretty efficient when they've gotten to the paint.
Meanwhile, for the Dream, they've leaned on Brittany Sykes, whose 12 points paces them.
Yeah, and what's exciting for Brittany Sykes, hitting a 3, attacking the rim, being able to score in different positions on the court. That was pretty right. More of that. That's what Atlanta wants. Defense, right to offense. And you know what, Andy, they're going to have to do that because those are quick scores in short amount of times.
Monique Billings also getting into the scoring column. She had 7, her career high, and her still young WNBA career is 10. But we'll see if the Dream can get Tiffany Hayes going again. She was off in the season opener, just 2 of 8 from the floor, 5 points. She only had 2 games all season last year, Amy, in single digits, held scoreless in that first half. Hayes missed only had 1 field goal attempt, but she obviously missed. We'll see if Nikki Collins tees it up for her to get her offense going.
And you also have to remember, with Angel McCoughtry out right now, that means the top defensive player for the opposition is always going to be assigned to Tiffany Hayes right off the bat, at least from the guard position, to lock her down. And so that's where other players have to step up and start to take a little bit more pressure off Tiffany Hayes. You're seeing Brittany Sykes do it, but with 3 first-half fouls, Tiffany Hayes really hasn't had a whole lot of opportunity to show any kind of offense right now.
Hayes, the leading returning scorer, first team all WNBA season ago, no points, 3 first-half fouls, and then Jessica Breland in the post, who led the Dream in scoring in their opener, no points, 3 first-half fouls. But yeah, Hayes, last year against Seattle in 3 games, she averaged close to 21 points per contest. She has lit up the Storm and will try to lead the Dream to an 18-point turnaround, which is what they'll need to move to 2-0 on the season.
Well, if you are Atlanta right now, you have to be confident at least in the fact that they have had scoring droughts in previous games. They rely on their defense. They know that if they sit down and they really grind it out on that end, they can get things going. And because they do have some experience and some leaders and some veterans, they understand 1 possession at a time, that mentality. So if you're the Dream, you kind of shake off that first half and go into what you believe in, your defense into some quick offense.
Seattle possession to begin the third quarter. Mosqueda Lewis left alone. In and out on the 3-ball, rebound to Williams. Up-court pass, deflected, tracked down by Breland. Feels sometimes like Natasha Howard's wingspan goes from one sideline to the other. The drive and dish, Breland, baseline jumper, good. And Jessica Breland gets on the board after missing her first 4.
And there's your 1 possession at a time. Stop, score. Stop, score. And that's the mentality the Dream have to have right now.
The high-low, Mosqueda Lewis had it poked away from behind by Sykes. Montgomery tripped as she split the defenders. Whistle that foul on Mosqueda Lewis, her first.
You see Renee Montgomery, let's go guys, because transition, trying to switch courts, catching the defense on their heels, drawing a foul. Those are so many positives on a quick split decision by a veteran.
We saw in your halftime interview how hard it is to corral Renee Montgomery.
Oh my gosh, energy. And really it's such an intangible but such an important aspect of the game. And she is almost an extension of the coaching staff on the court.
Montgomery played a season with the Storm. The dump down, Williams draws contact. She goes to the line. It was set up by the drive by Tiffany Hayes, and Elizabeth Williams to the free throw line.
Yeah, nice hesitation. And what a pass through a lot of traffic from Hayes. You see the attention Hayes drives, right? And so that's nice for Elizabeth Williams, just as a big, to sit down with your hands up and expect that pass.
That was the second on Natasha Howard.
You want the free throws, but you're almost as happy just to draw another early quick one on Natasha Howard.
Yeah.
And if you're Atlanta, you almost want to go after her again the next time down the court.
Another split of the free throws by Elizabeth Williams, fifth-year pro from Duke. Storm up 15. Lloyd catches on Hayes. Trying to unhinge herself from the WNBA all-defensive guard Tiffany Hayes. Canada slings out from the baseline. Lloyd now in traffic. Tough finish off the wrong foot by Jewel Lloyd. Now, she was the number 1 overall pick 4 years ago for a reason. Breland. See if she can draw that third foul. Crafty finish, though, around Howard.
Yeah, tried to go through the length in her arms. Still got the roll. That's a tough shot. A lot less control on the ball when you're scooping underneath.
After a scoreless first half, 4 in the opening minutes of the third quarter for Jessica Breland. Mosqueda Lewis, no good on the runner. Williams the rebound.
And you see the tie-up on the arms.
I think that was the good play on there between Howard and Montgomery.
Both of them looking at the officials saying, are you going to blow the whistle? But I don't know who's going to go on. That's a good no call.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
In and out from Breland. Has been a more aggressive start offensively for the Dream. Mosqueda Lewis off a crumbling screen from Langhorne. Can't finish underneath, kicks out. Mosqueda Lewis, no good. And we're starting to see Elizabeth Williams rack up the defensive boards for the Dream.
Well, and you see the scramble and recovery from Atlanta, and that's how they like to play.
Oh, Sykes pinned in after she slipped, jump ball. And we'll jump.
Yeah, Sykes really getting after it, even on the other end with the recovery defensively, and then gets down. As soon as Elizabeth Williams pulls down that board, taking off down the other end of the court.
Randy Sykes sure to attract more attention in this second half. She and Mosqueda Lewis will jump.
And just watch her get up. I'm excited to watch this one. She can jump. There you go.
Taps it over to Hayes. Tries for the up and under, and she's fouled.
You see your leader again corralling your team, giving them that energy, putting it right into their veins, it looks like.
And Tiffany Hayes not only with an opportunity to get in the scoring column, but she forces the third foul on Natasha Howard.
Well, there it is. That's what they wanted.
Took a lot longer than Tiffany Hayes anticipated. I guess her first point of the game, an 81% foul shooter a season ago. And she makes it a 13-point Dream deficit. Dream trailed by as many as 20 in that first half. Canada spins by Howard. Worked around to Mosqueda Lewis. Rebound to Breland. Dream again tried to turn the floor quickly. Montgomery from the mid-range, rims no. Rebound to Howard. And an offensive foul the other way. It was Montgomery who hit the deck. They'll tag Crystal Langhorne for the personal. First foul on Crystal Langhorne. Make it her second. We'll see it again.
Yeah, I think Renee Montgomery just planted her feet, and Crystal Langhorne had her head turn and didn't see the defender there. And again, we talk about veteran experience.
Oh, that's a wily play. Only an 11th-year pro can make.
Yeah.
You know, when those players are taking their eyes off the action when they're jogging down the floor. And now a foul called on Montgomery. I think everybody was anticipating the whistle would go against the Storm. Instead, ball back to the Storm.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, there was contact on both sides, it looked like, right? Jordan Canada really reaching through, but it's that reaction almost that the official saw.
Yeah, it looks like the hook. Montgomery was trying to prevent Canada from chasing after it.
Yeah.
It's Montgomery's second. Lloyd racks up the screen from Howard. Mosqueda Lewis pulls up, knocks it down.
And she's going to find her rhythm, and she's so deadly, right? She gets her feet set. And Brittany Sykes, who's one of the quicker players in the league, has a tough time contesting that.
Only had 4 points the other night in Minnesota. Kalina Mosqueda Lewis up to 8. Lead back up to 15 for the Storm. Breland backs down Langhorne. Howard over to double. The drop off to Williams. Great anticipation of that double team by Breland. Results in the assist to Williams.
Those two posts, if they can get that timing right and cutting right.
There's Hayes on the steal and Hayes on the finish. And Gary Kloppenberg does not like the way the momentum is shifting. The bucket on the fast break set up by what else? Tiffany Hayes' defense makes it an 11-point game. 5:47 to play in the third quarter. And might we be seeing Tiffany Hayes start to awaken for the dream? Jumps into the passing lane, the layup on the other end. 49-38 Storm here in the third in Atlanta.
I have one kid in each branch of the military, but I'm Command Central.
Why Elaine chose Verizon.
It's so important to us that Verizon is supporting military families. When I have a child deployed, having a reliable network means everything. So when I get a video chat and I get to see their face, it's the best thing in the world. And I've earned every one of these gray hairs. Military moms, we serve too.
The network more people rely on gives you more, like military plans with a special price on unlimited, $100 per line, and big savings on our best phones when you switch. That's Verizon.
Oh. Is it too late to... Never mind. It's fine.
A salute to one of Dad's most important jobs. Fatherhood. This Father's Day, give Dad the gift of steel. Right now, save $20 on the MS-170 chainsaw. And grass trimmers start at just $129.95 at SteelDealers.com.
Today's Best Western? What does that mean?
With rewards points that never expire, you get free nights fast. Now get a $20 Best Western gift card after your first stay. Book now at bestwestern.com.
Pieces or cups? Pieces or cups? Pieces or cups? Pieces in cups! Man, we're killing it over here, huh? Not sorry. Reese's.
Meet the dough that's baked slow. The original pan pizza from Pizza Hut is here with a thick, crispier, buttery crust. It's the original, and it's bigger than the other guys. Now, for a limited time, get it on the $7.99 large 2-topping deal.
Old Trapper Beefs. Fake protein.
Can we take a protein break? Check it. I got my beans, my bars, my goos, my glums. I think Goop was a bad choice.
Old Trapper, what's your beef?
Dream have whittled the deficit down to 11 with 5:47 to play in the third quarter. The dish by Breland to Williams and then Tiffany Hayes. Boy, we saw a lot of that on loop last year. WNBA All-Defensive. And the UConn vets finally in the scoring column for Nikki Collins. She has to like the way her team has been more engaged out of halftime.
Yeah, outscoring Seattle 6-2 in the 6-2-2 in the second half, and like you said, that certainly they've gotten a lot more aggressive off the bounce.
Canada had the ball slip out of her hands on the shot attempt, and then she compounds the problem with the foul on Montgomery. That was just not Jordan Canada's half-court possession, was not meant to be, and it's her second foul.
The Dream have also attempted 4 free throws in the second half and Seattle 0. So a lot of the problems that they had in that first half, they've fixed completely out of the locker room.
Slim to the rim. The up and under around Howard doesn't draw rim. Canada up and good. Soft touch by the second-year pro.
Yeah, that's big time. Renee Montgomery went under the screen, and that's a big read from a second-year player who huge shoes to fill. Let's not beat around the bush now.
Yeah, it's only Sue Bird. Out of bounds, it stays with the Dream.
If you're Atlanta, that possession you're okay with because much like Sue Bird, they don't want to allow Jordan Canada to facilitate. They want to force her to make those reads and to score.
Well, she did that time and had a career-high 16 points in the season opener versus Phoenix. The pitch out to Sykes for three. And the struggles continue from long range for Atlanta. 2 of 15. Canada slices in on Montgomery. Count it and one.
Yeah,
blink and you will miss her.
She's so quick in the open court, and she certainly brings a higher level of quickness at the point guard position and able to do that. And seen a couple fun finishes. I'll say fun. Some coaches will say wacky, but early on in the season for Jordan Canada, you really can't give her room in the open court. She finds a way to get to the rim.
And with the free throw, she stretches the lead back out to 16. 5th overall pick last year from UCLA. 5 consecutive for Canada to squelch what had been a dream run. Here's Williams pivoting, blocked by Howard. Another attempt by Williams leaves it short. Couple of close-range looks by Elizabeth Williams. An empty possession instead for the Dream. Now it's Howard on Williams. Out to Langhorne for a long two.
That's big time. Crystal Langhorne has worked really hard in the offseason with the range on her shot. She was 0 for 4 last year from 3, so she shot 4 total threes. This year she's 0 for 3, so she's really working on extending to stretch the defense. That's a nice release for her.
A little bit of reinvention from the 12th-year pro. She's back in the starting lineup, especially with the absence of Brianna Stewart. Jumper off the mark by Canada, boarded by Breland. Dream had it down to 11. The deficit is back up to 18. Clark on the handle. Bodies hit the floor underneath. And we have an offensive foul against Howard. That's a 4th on Natasha Howard. We'll see if that prompts a substitution from the Storm.
If you're Atlanta, you've got to keep your head in it. You're missing at the rim. You're getting there and you're missing some bunnies, and it's certainly frustrating. They got themselves, like you said, to within 11 by grinding out defensive stops. So you've got to keep their heads up and keep attacking, because you know what, Andy? Things don't get easier for them. They go home tonight. They get up in the morning. They fly to Washington. They play tomorrow night. So you at least have got to feel good about grinding out stops and converting on offense.
And with that 4th foul, Howard is strapped to the bench with her 13 points and 10 rebounds. Mercedes Russell subs in for her. Breland with a long jumper, and it's pure.
And that was the shot that she didn't hit in that first half, but it's really automatic for her. So again, if you're Atlanta, you're looking at that and saying, all right, Jessica Breland, let's get warmed up here.
Alicia Clark answers from 3. Rested the first 2 games of the season, returning from France. And Alicia Clark rested and ready. Hayes gets hedged by Russell, and a foul called on Russell.
Now Tiffany Hayes recognizing the high hedge and just attacking the hip of Mercedes Russell, which as a guard, if you get the switch or that look to trap or high hedge, you certainly attack a hip and look to draw that foul.
That's the Storm over the limits, and Tiffany Hayes to the free throw line. The first one good by Hayes. Let's take a look at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule. As you see, Shavante Sellis report in for the Storm. Later tonight on ESPN2, the Aces versus the Mercury. Now Brittany Griner versus Liz Cambage. That might be worth clicking onto. And then on CBS Sports Network Wednesday, Chicago takes on Washington. Like you said, Amy, the Dream head to the Mystics for a game tomorrow.
These are about the most exciting Friday nights I've had in a long time, and that doesn't say a whole lot for myself.
By the way, how about that back-to-back for the Dream? Defending WNBA champions and the defending Eastern Conference champions in the span of 24 hours. Stickback doesn't fall by Russell, gets the tap though. The three-pointer rims no good by Lloyd. Alex Bentley off the Dream bench. Drops it off to Breland. Twisting, shooting, and drawing a foul.
I love that look for Atlanta. Spaced out, Breland one-on-one against any kind of post defender. She has an advantage because she's long and she's quick. She also has the ability to pop that outside shot. Hey, that's all right. Again, that one possession at a time mentality, go to some of your strengths, and Jessica Breland is a strength on both ends of the court for the Atlanta Dream.
Yeah, 6 points this quarter. The foul was on Langhorner's second. Now, Jessica Breland, she was WNBA All-Defensive a year ago, but I don't think the casual WNBA fan appreciated just how good Jessica Breland was on that end of the floor. She led the WNBA in defensive rating.
I know, and just under 2 blocks a game. She's consistent. You had already mentioned Natasha Howard's length with her arms out. Breland's got some wings too. Those things are precious. You know, people would love to have them. Not everyone gets those.
Yeah, Howard was second in the WNBA last year in blocks per game. Breland third. She tried to deny the entry, but it got there in time to Russell, and she finishes. A little slow on that rotation, but it's a 17-point Storm lead. Sykes, a look away. The three by Hayes, good.
That's a great hit. Again, touching the paint, inside out.
Only the third made three by the Dream tonight in 16 attempts. Tiffany Hayes with 9 third-quarter points. And a foul inside on Atlanta. Only the third of the quarter against the Dream. But Atlanta would like to see more of that from Tiffany Hayes.
Yeah, nice attack from Sykes, and that's a great find. Right into her pocket, left-hand shooter.
Down to a 14-point deficit. Behind the screen, the three popped up no good by Lloyd. And there is Breland, one of the better defensive rebounders in the league last year. Bentley with the stop and pop. It doesn't fall. Slapped out, kept alive by Hayes. Bentley will trigger another three. And the iron just has been unkind for the Dream from behind the line tonight. Pass batted by Hayes. And the Dream can hold for the final shot of the third. Breland plants the screen. Hayes in the stare down with Lloyd. Launches the three. High off the heel, and that'll do it for the third quarter. Dream had it down to 11, trying to make up an 18-point halftime deficit. They head to the fourth quarter against the reigning WNBA champions. Down by 14, 61-47. Mercedes Russell helping keep the Storm. And the Dream at arm's length. Stay with us. Fourth quarter comes up after this.
My experience with USA Air has been excellent. They really appreciate the military family, and it really shows.
With all that USAA offers, why go with anybody else? We know their rates are good. We know that they're always going to take care of us.
It was an instant savings, and I should have changed a long time ago.
It was funny because when we would call another insurance company, they would say, oh, we can't be USAA.
We're the Weber family.
We're the Tennies.
We're the Hells, and we're USAA members for life.
Get your USAA auto insurance quote today.
Today's Best Western. What does that mean?
Today's Best Western is over 4,200 hotels worldwide and a variety of hotel brands. It's vibrant, a feel of home, and a friendly hello, all with a refined glow. And with rewards points that never expire, you get free nights fast.
Wow.
Now get a $20 Best Western gift card after your first stay. Book now at bestwestern.com.
One certainty in life is that it changes, and so does your vision, which is why VSP offers individual vision plans, coverage you can buy on your own. Because whether you're self-employed, in between jobs, or at a job that doesn't offer vision coverage, you still deserve access to savings on eyewear and quality eye care from a doctor you trust. For the best care at the best price, visit VSPdirect.com to see better for life for less.
Thank you, VSP.
Just push. Push.
grams of energy-giving protein, there's nothing you and almonds can't do.
What is that?
Mine. Why?
It's just that it's...
Lavender? Yes, it is. It's for men.
But I like the smell of it.
Can I have a Michelob Ultra?
No, your software is not old enough.
Ha! Ha!
There's enough artificial in the world. Michelob Ultra. No artificial colors or flavors. Superior light beer.
That is a good one.
The X-Men's final battle.
I've seen evil, and I'm looking at it now.
Will be their greatest.
You have no idea.
X-Men Dark Phoenix. Rated PG-13. Tickets on sale now.
As we start the fourth quarter from State Farm Arena's 61-47, Storm have never trailed on the road versus Atlanta. Of course, you can follow the Atlanta Dream all season long on social media. Find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook by following @Atlanta Dream. Dream ball to begin the fourth quarter. They've been held to 31% field goal shooting by the Storm. Pass tipped and a foul on Billings. Now Bentley got pinned in the corner by a double team and trying to pass in close quarters. Put her in a tough spot.
Yeah, it's a tough place to dribble the ball when you got two players on you, obviously going into a corner. If you're Atlanta, you won the third quarter. You actually outscored the Storm by 4. Because they dug themselves such a big hole, that's not going to cut it. This last 10 minutes, again, it goes to that stop-score mentality.
Well, Natasha Howard is not yet on the floor for the Storm. She did pick up a fourth foul late in that third quarter as the jumper nestled in by Javonte Zealous. So Gary Kloppenberg can be liberal with his rest for Natasha Howard with this margin. That three pops in and out by Sykes. He's been about the Dream's most accurate scorer tonight. Doesn't get the bounce that time, though. Raylan kicks the entry pass.
And Haley Peters getting her first look as well on the game and the season. She's got a tough assignment against Alicia Clark. But she's a player who's also has a reputation for being a really hard worker and really getting in after it that way. And so this is where you kind of seize your opportunities in these type of games.
Well, she'll be motivated to defend Alicia Clark because Clark's team eliminated Peters' team in the French League postseason last month. Yeah, I had to use Google Translate a little bit to find that out. Peters tracks it down. Clark pleading that she didn't tip it. Shot clock is down to 5. Backdoor bounce just beyond the reach of Sykes for an Atlanta turnover. Right idea with the shot clock winding down. High degree of difficulty pass, though, from Peters. Clark with the blow by on Peters and 2 more for Alicia Clark. Give Clark 13. It's almost been a quiet 13. Bentley has missed all 5 of her 3-point attempts. Bounces across to Breland. Grinds away on Langhorne, out of control.
And you're seeing Atlanta break down a little bit and just looking at these one-on-one takes or not quite polished, but hey, this is when you really got to get it together and feel good offensively going in tomorrow night into Washington, a very hostile environment.
They know all about that hostility as they were eliminated by the Mystics in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals a season ago. Ball stays with the Storm. The Coffee comes in, replacing Breland. And also Howard, you see number 6 in your screen, is re-entered for the Storm. Trying to build upon her double-double of 13 and 10. Contested jumper, Zealous.
She's been a great addition for the Seattle Storm.
Well, she's been known in her career as more of a defensive stalwart. She's had a couple of tough finishes here in the second half. Sykes drives and kicks. Peters off the mark, rebound Coffey. Clears space and cashes in. Canada ducks behind the screen, misfires on the jumper. Sykes weaves her way in. Coffey fighting among 3 yellow jerseys for it. You just didn't see a lot of her teammates come and help her out.
No, it was 1 blue jersey on about 4 yellows. And you got to get that ball if you want to control the pace of the game. You've got to have the ball in your hands.
Howard isolated on Coffey. Over the shoulder, and 2 more for Natasha Howard. How about that pump fake to draw Coffey airborne?
Yeah, he's so crafty around the rim. Again, didn't you get a whole lot of opportunity in Minnesota, and now you're seeing the touches and the playing time increase, and so does the production from Natasha Howard. That's what we've been waiting for right there, Andy.
Alex Bentley's been waiting for that as well. Her first made 3 in 7 attempts. Deficit to 17 for the Dream. An open 3, and that's answered right back by Canada.
That's a huge dagger. Atlanta does something. 17, still a winnable game here, but you got to come up with that stop. Now that pushes it right back to 20.
Now you can understand the Dream giving Canada that shot. She was only an 18% three-point shooter a year ago. That Canada's first three-pointer of the night. Bucket by Coffey, 72-54 Storm, who continue this 3-game road trip. Has another explosion to the rim by Howard. They continue their road trip against Chicago. Now 2 teams, another three-pointer by Bentley. 2 teams that, like we said earlier in the broadcast, Amy, have WNBA championship aspirations, but will have to do so without their star players, McCautry for the Dream, Bird, Stewart for the Storm. But I think you talk to both coaches, they will say they have a lot of talented players, a deep roster where they know they can continue that standard and continue that chase as we've hit timeout. 5:05 to play in our 4th quarter. 74-57 Storm lead the Dream. We'll be back after this.
This would be awkward if you were sharing these nachos with anyone but yourself. Nachos are now a meal with your choice of double the seasoned beef or slow-cooked shredded chicken plus a medium drink. The $5 Grande Nachos Box, only at Taco Bell.
Geico makes it easy to get help when you need it, with licensed agents available 24/7. It's not just easy, it's having a walrus and goal easy.
It's a walrus! Ridiculous!
Yes! Nice save, big guy! Good job, Duncan! Way to go!
It's not just easy, it's Geico easy.
Oh, Duncan, stay up. No sleepies.
Designed for exhilarating performance. Designed for your every move. This is the 7-passenger Acura MDX. Designed for where you drive.
Visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Do you remember that day? That day you met your hero?
Miss Bird, do you think I could be a champion like you?
Of course you can. And you can call me Sue.
Jibber jabber, coming through! Salutations, famous female of orange round ball.
Would you like an autograph?
Excuse me! It's you.
Jibber jabber ruins everything.
Is it?
At Symetra Life Insurance Company, we're cutting through it to help you choose the retirement benefits and life products that work best for you.
If only there was a place nearby you could get one of these. Or these. Good thing they're sold literally everywhere business is done. I'm pretty sure you could buy them at a bank. Not sorry, Reese's.
Plants capture CO2. What if other kinds of plants captured it too? We could help lower emissions if industrial plants could be a little more like plants.
This copyrighted telecast of WNBA Enterprises may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise used in any form without the express written consent of WNBA Enterprises.
Storm have led the whole way, 74-57 over the Dream. Natasha Howard once again leading the way for Seattle.
Yeah, both ends of the court. She's so active off the ball, and her teammates also do a great job looking for her as well. You're seeing her score in so many different ways. Back to basket, she can scoop, go right, left, face up from the free throw line and attack. And I mean, we're just talking about offense. We didn't even touch her defensive capabilities.
And 3 blocks as well. 21 and a career-high 16 rebounds against Phoenix in the season opener. She was held in check on the boards the other night in Minnesota. Just 5 rebounds, but 18 points, 17 and 10 for another double-double. The finish underneath by the Dream. Maite Casorla, the rookie from Oregon. Now ball hawking Jordan Canada reprising their days in the Pac-12 for Casorla, her WNBA debut.
There's a lot of Pac-12 in the house tonight, Andy.
And Mercedes Russell, not from the Pac-12. She's a Lady Vol, but she finishes.
And muscling her way inside.
I'll give her half credit, though. She is from Springfield, Oregon, so she's got some Pacific Northwest blood in her. A steal by Canada. Races in on Casorla, no good. Rebound Coffey, dribbled it right off her foot and down to who else but Howard. 19 and 11 for Natasha Howard. Coffey lines up the 3. And off the miss, it stays with the Dream. We're now 5 of 22 from 3 tonight.
And
there will be better days from long range for the Dream this year.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Some nights, they haven't, some of them have been pretty good shots, to be honest with you. Any rhythm shots, they just haven't hit them. A lot of players on the court right now for Atlanta that don't have a ton of experience or just testing out a different lineup. Is Nikki Collin also preparing for that game tomorrow night against Washington? But the players that are on the court, you use this opportunity, and even in Alex Bentley, to kind of step into that leadership role on the court right now and prove again to the coaches that she can run the offense in the next 3 minutes and 43 seconds.
And it's important to develop depth even early in the season because you never know when you may need it. As the Dream proved last year, where they were still able to march to the Eastern Conference Finals and come so close to meeting the Storm in the WNBA Championship Series, even without Angel McCautry. Peters knocks down both free throws. First points for Haley Peters, now beginning her 3rd season in the WNBA out of Duke. Quick jumper, Lloyd pure again. Nice bounce back for Jewel Lloyd. She's got 12. Lloyd, who made her first WNBA All-Star game a season ago.
Yeah, Seattle, they did a great job of coming in tonight and dictating the pace again. Atlanta, they want around 85 possessions per game. They score on over a point on a possession. So if they're not at least at 85 points, it's not their game plan, it's not the way they want to play. Sitting at 61 right now, I mean, the numbers don't lie.
The shot clock winding down. Howard chases after her own miss and draws the foul on Billings. Well, Natasha Howard has been a pogo stick tonight for the Storm. And with 2:46 to play, we've hit timeout. So the Dream will try to pick things back up when they take on Washington tomorrow. For now, down 19 late in the 4th to the Storm.
It's time to make way for what's next. Make way for our league in a new home, Chicago, Washington. Wednesday at 7 on CBS Sports Network.
Hey, you a basketball fan?
Yeah.
That is a Metro Pass that Clyde Drexler stepped on. And that is a box set of Benny the Bull's short-lived sitcom, That's Bull. And my favorite, a '95 Houston Rockets autographed poster Autographed it myself. Some right hand, some left. Got to make them look different.
Just okay is not okay, whether it's sports, memorabilia, or your network. AT&T is America's best wireless network according to America's Biggest Test. More for your thing. That's our thing.
We found the perfect new home and we wanted to move fast, but we didn't feel confident making an offer until we knew our other home would sell.
Introducing Simple Sale by HomeLight. With Simple Sale, cash buyers compete to make you an offer whenever you're ready to sell. There's no prep, no hassle, no uncertainty.
We sold our home in under a week and it was so easy. And that perfect new home we found, we got it.
To see your Simple Sale price, visit homelight.com/.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Storm lead the Dream 80-61, closing minutes of the fourth quarter, and Natasha Howard has worn out the paint tonight.
Look at that active shot chart, live action right there. But yeah, I mean, high percentage. But what this doesn't show, back to basket, facing up, different ways to score. And you know what, 0 for 1 from the three, but she's extending her game out there too. So that's really scary for everybody else in the league.
Also has made all 7 of her free throw attempts. Shot clock winding down, Canada heaves, and I don't think she beat it. Shot clock violation.
And we talked about Atlanta getting on the plane. Well, Seattle, they got to go play Chicago tomorrow. So both teams on a back-to-back. And it's tough. It's a grind. The league's a grind, and you got to appreciate these players coming out and giving maximum effort.
Couple of subs on as well in these closing minutes. Anrielle Howard, the Atlanta native, on the floor for the first time for the Storm. Played collegiately at Mississippi State and Texas A&M. And Marie Gulich back in as well for Atlanta. Also see Courtney Paris, 10th-year pro from Oklahoma. Her first action. As Coffey banks it home. If you're a Storm fan and wondering where is Sammy Whitcomb, who did see some action the other night against Minnesota. She was out tonight because of rest. She also had a very late postseason in France. Didn't rejoin the team until last week. Inside of 2 minutes in the fourth quarter.
How about Alicia Clark and Sammy Whitcomb playing against each other in the final? And their final championship game was a Game 5 on May 23rd, just to give you a little bit of insight. Alicia Clark's team was up 2-0, and the Seattle organization, as much as they want all their players to be successful, probably wanted the 3-game sweep to get the players back, but Sammy's team ended up extending the series to 5 games, and they played right to the very end. Probably happy to be teammates once again.
You know, it wasn't going to be a lot of rest either way. But, yeah, 8 days between the end of her season overseas and the start of her season in the WNBA. Gary Kloppenberg has to be very pleased with his team's effort, particularly on the defensive end, the way they dictated the terms of tempo. And after a 72-61 loss at Minnesota, in which they were held at 36% and could never really find their footing, it was the opposite tonight. Dream led by 12 from Brittany Sykes. He's the Dream's only double-digit scorer. And there will be no comeback in the fourth quarter tonight for Atlanta.
And when you do not have an Angel McCautry on your roster who at least can get you a good look every possession, everybody else has to pick up the slack a little bit more. It can't just be on a Tiffany Hayes or a one other player. And like you said, that's something the Dream just didn't get tonight. They didn't get more balanced scoring from other players.
And Tiffany Hayes, 9 points. Breland had 8 points, but both of those players were held scoreless in the first half. And this will be back-to-back single-digit scoring games for Tiffany Hayes, who last year averaged a career-best 17.2. She only had 2 games all last season, regular season and postseason, in which she was held to single digits. Cazorla, she is a water bug, single-handedly keeping this possession alive as she hunts for her first WNBA points. Tests the waters from long range, and it goes.
And these are some big moments for Maite because she's going to have to step in for Alex Bentley when she leaves to go play the Eurobasket tournament for Belarus. And so she's got to use these minutes to show her coaches and gain some confidence that she can fill that position as well.
Russell's reverse doesn't fall. Billings rips it away. Yeah, Maite Cazorla, also the 5th youngest player in the WNBA. Coffey was out of control. They charge her for the charge.
How about Alicia Clark taking that contact? I'll tell you something. Again, we talk about the WNBA players not getting a whole lot of rest and going and play Alicia Clark in the French League. By the way, her team owned by Tony Parker. Little fun fact for you. But again, doesn't get a whole lot of rest. And then late game, they're up. Still takes the charge, sacrifices her body. I mean, these women are really incredible, and they still do not get the credit they deserve.
Here's Howard. Playing in her hometown, off to Clark. Pops the 3, doesn't fall, rebound to Coffey. Dream fall to 1-1. Storm will improve to 2-1. These teams will meet 2 other times in the regular season. A Storm team that's playing its home games in both Everett and on the campus of the University of Washington while Key Arena is under construction the next 2 off seasons. The Dream certainly knows something about that. Haven't played at Georgia Tech's McCamish Pavilion the last 2 summers. But the Storm made State Farm Arena their home tonight. Nikki Collins' team could never quite find their rhythm on offense, and the Storm come out with an 82-66 win over the Atlanta Dream. Another double-double from Natasha Howard, 19 and 14. 4 Storm players in double figures who also hold the Dream to 32.9% and 26% from 3. A confidence-building road game for the Storm.
Yeah, and if you're Atlanta, quick flip. Watch the film, fix it. Another big one tomorrow night.
Yep, on to the next one for both of these teams. We'll be back to wrap things up from Atlanta after this.
Old Trapper Beefs. Tough snacks.
Out here, nothing comes easy. That's why you gotta be tough. My truck, it's tough. My crew, definitely tough. But Old Trapper taught me the value of tenderness.
Old Trapper, what's your beef?
Oh, it's a puppy.
Ah, the playoffs. When we cuddle up with a hot cup of tea. What? This isn't a rom-com. Get to B-Dubs, where the only cozying is with a beer and wings, and the only heartbreak is a Game 7 loss. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
A salute to one of Dad's most important jobs, fatherhood. This Father's Day, give Dad the gift of steel. Right now, save $30 on the FSA 56 trimmer when you buy the BGA 56 battery blower set. Visit SteelDealers.com.
My experience with USA Air has been excellent. They really appreciate the military family, and it really shows.
With all that USAA offers, why go with anybody else? We know their rates are good. We know that they're always going to take care of us.
It was an instant savings, and I should have changed a long time ago.
It was funny because when we would call another insurance company, they would say, oh, we can't be USAA.
We're the Weber family.
We're the Tennies.
We're the Hells, and we're USAA members for life.
Get your USAA auto insurance quote today.
Today's Best starting? What does that mean?
Today's Best Western is over 4,200 hotels worldwide and a variety of hotel brands. It's vibrant, a feel of home, and a friendly hello, all with a refined glow. And with rewards points that never expire, you get free nights fast.
Wow.
Now get a $20 Best Western gift card after your first stay. Book now at bestwestern.com.
These teams will meet again July 5th in Seattle. Game 1 goes to the Storm, 82-66 over the Atlanta Dream at State Farm Arena. So from our producer, Matt Sims, analyst Amy Audibert, I'm Andy Demetra, saying so long from Atlanta, Georgia, where our final score tonight, the Storm 82, the Atlanta Dream